Welcome back to WDIB Media, the voice of the community. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to A New Day, and we're your hosts, Juicy J.
You just on one today. And Mr. Bay. So, Miss Juicy J. Wow, you just on one today. Feeling kind of saucy, huh?
I'm throwing them off today. Well, we're back. We're talking about inappropriate sex. It's time to break the hex. So
somebody might consider that voice a little sexual, huh? Maybe, huh?
But it's juicy.
Yes, it is. So, but we grown and sexy, so we can talk like that. But back to the story. As far as those who may be looking to seek help for their sexual urges, how to get a hold to themselves.
Right.
I would recommend if they have somebody in their community, maybe from spiritual base, church, imam, pastor, rabbi, whatever. Somebody that they can trust in to, for one, just listen to them without judgment.
Right. That's the number one key right there.
Yeah, because you definitely will have to have a stomach to hear some of the stories that
that some people actually have that entail.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I would say start with the spirit first. Consult your higher self. And ask for forgiveness for whatever it is you believe in, and maybe if you don't believe in something, maybe it's time that you do. And so as far as the programs now, there are programs like that you could just Google. You can Google it. If you really want help, you can go and find some sex offender programs, people that are dealing with those type of issues. And I'm sure that there are resources within their local area. I just found one that quick, the National Youth Advocate Program. And their number is 877-692-7626. So that's a national program. So all for the youth out there, you can definitely tune into that channel, take that number down.
Right. And can you repeat that number for them again, please?
The number to the National Youth Advocate Program is 1-877-692-7226.
Okay. And we actually found this just by going through Google. So as I'm glancing over, I see that they also have some social media outlets where you can go and follow if you're not quite comfortable to make the phone call yet. And I'm sure that you can get some more information. Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing YouTube. I'm seeing that they have a Facebook page as well.
Yes. Okay, you want the Facebook page?
No, I wanted to see what else other ones besides YouTube and Facebook that they had where they can get information from without making the initial phone call.
All right, let's see. I'm sure that if they just went to Facebook and put in National Youth Advocate Program, caring for people, connecting communities, and promoting peace. So that's what we all about at A New Day. So it looks
Absolutely.
like it might be a great program. They have a program for sex offender treatment services.
And let me just pause you right there. Even though you might not be a quote-unquote sex offender, I don't want people to take that term as if it's a negative thing, because you do have people that are in need of just going to SA, Sex Anonymous, because they may have an addiction to sex in an unhealthy way. So. And again, we're not saying that, enjoying sex is not a good thing. It's not a healthy thing. But when it becomes right, the key part of that is for consenting adults. So I don't want to use the
or consenting youth. There are youth who make up their mind that they want to have sex.
But they have to be of a legal age. We can't have a consensual youth that's 12 years old and you have a young man that's 16, 17, 18 and above, and they can say, oh, well, she said yes. So,
right.
We definitely have to be smart to be mindful with what we're doing and with the energy that we're choosing to bring out there.
Absolutely. And so that being said, it's a thin line, right? But we have to teach our children what those lines are.
That's absolutely true.
It really starts at home. And and so as far as my journey, I actually I think I first came to the revelation that it was some trauma back in like 2012. I attended a Juju Mama retreat, and they at Juju Mama, was women there, and I actually sat in on a circle that they had, and it was 13 women there, and all except one. One was a virgin, and one basically she was consented. She consented to sex, but every last every last one of the rest of them were violated in some type of way.
Some shape, form, or
And they
fashion.
were from all ages, all races. They were. I mean, it was a diverse a group of women that were there, and I was blessed enough to be there. And while I listened to those stories, something just came over me, and it really changed the way that I viewed sex from that day. It changed the way I looked at women. It really just opened me up to like, wow, like you just don't realize how powerful how those things that happen when we're young can carry over into our
adulthood. Absolutely.
So peace out to Juju Mama. They're actually on the World Wide Web. You can Google them too. For people that need, they do counseling, they do coaching, they do all kinds of things with relationship coaching and all of those things. So, that's the road that I came through. So I have to pay respect to that, and to the work that I actually did with them, through my process of healing. And so, and then I ran across other people throughout the time, just having a conversation with people, talking about it, and just being able to accept certain things within myself about my own sexuality and being able to stand in my own power. So it was a road, and it's and I'm only 41 years young, but I'm glad that that happened in the time that it did. I wish it maybe could have happened sooner, but everything comes in its proper time and
right,
its proper
absolutely.
way. So as far as that, I mean, what do you have to say as far as like, because being a woman, I mean, women get harassed all the time in a sense, especially if you're an attractive woman. But listen, don't sleep. It doesn't matter. You would be surprised how many unattractive women have been sexually abused behind closed doors. So it doesn't really matter. And young boys too. So it's not just a female thing, but also a male thing that we need to address and not turn a blind eye to. So,
as for me, I think that I was a daddy's girl, so I had a lot of very positive men in my life, which really helped me throughout my journey as far as when, back in the day when boys would play the little grab your booty game, and, as you start to develop as a young lady, and, they started to grab on your breasts or whatever. So luckily I have an older brother with a lot of male friends. And I had my father and my grandfather. So whenever I would have like those quote unquote issues, I had a male to go to kind of teach me how to handle it in a different way. And of course, my mother would give me, her advice from a female perspective. But of course, I've always valued that male energy that I needed to be able to help me through it.
But what if the male is the predator? I mean, what if the male is your father, or your uncle?
And see, for myself personally, I really can't relate to that because, like you said back in another segment, it starts at home. So I can remember I had an uncle who passed away, but he was like my favorite uncle on my dad's side, truck driver. Always came back in town, and he would always have gifts for me. And as a little girl, I would always run up to him, and I would sit in his lap. Mm-hmm. And so I remember as a little girl, he would always say, "No, you don't sit in my lap." My nickname back in the day was Bam, so they called me Bam, and I could never understand why he said that to me. And so he would always tell me, "No, you never sit in a man's lap." Mm-hmm. And he would never allow for me to sit in his lap. And I remember, like, as a little girl, you had your nightgowns or this, that, or whatever. He would always make me go put on my house coat when he came to the house if I had my nightgown on. So that was something that was instilled in me at a very young age. So for me, I was very blessed and I was fortunate to be able to be in that space. Unfortunately, everyone doesn't have those type of roles and role models in their life.
Yeah, too many don't. And so for those who don't, we got to be the voice for them and give them the courage and the strength to go get some help and go find someone that cares and that can help the situation, whether it be someone in the household, someone outside of the household. But really, as a community, we have to really start paying more attention to these type of things.
That's true.
Start talking about these type of things and start advocating for help for these people that may be experiencing these types of behavior, whether they the predator or the victim. So,
and just to piggyback real quick before we end the show, I will have to say, as parents, you definitely have to pay more attention to your children. I think because as parents, we're working and we have so much going on that we tend not to do those easy conversations of how was school today. I can remember when the children were smaller, and I would always say, how was school today? So, anybody touch you today? And you have to teach them about that inappropriate touch no matter where it's coming from, because unfortunately you have a lot of teachers who are now taking advantage of a lot of these students. Oh, yeah. And, the schoolhouse is always supposed to be a safe place. You're always raised like you're safe in school. So if it's confusing to when you're teaching your children that you're safe in school, your teacher is great and blah, 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 but then they don't know how to come to you and say, well, Mrs. Such and Such touched me or Mr. Such and Such touched me. But you have to let your children know that they could be comfortable with you with having these discussions. And that starts with a very young age. I will have to say that I started, I won't say the children's names, but I started with them when they were 4, when they started school in preschool. And I taught them at a very young age, what is appropriate touch from a teacher. Because, pre-K, some of them can't always wipe themselves properly, and they need certain help, but it's a proper way to do things, and then it's definitely an appropriate way to do things. So I think that's very, very, very important in the family setting to just have those discussions. And our children are old now, so we have 2 in college, 2 in high school, 1 that's about to make us grandparents at a nice early age, but I'm grateful that we can have those open conversations about sex with them. One girl, 4 boys, but and I think that came because of the fact that we chose to have those conversations with them at a young age.
Indeed. So that looks like we're going to be ending it up for today. I really continue ask the people out there that's listening to continue to pray for those people that have experienced sexual trauma, and may all those bones that's rattling in the closet. Let's get in there. Let's get them. Let's deal with them skeletons so we can heal and get past these sexual woes that we have, so the next generation doesn't have to repeat the cycle.
Absolutely. So, thank you everyone for tuning in this week with A New Day with Juicy J.
Mr. Bay.
Join us next week on every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Please remember to connect with us on Facebook or Instagram, A New Day with Juicy J and
Mr. Bay.
Also, if you would like to be a guest on the show, you could definitely contact us. That contact information is 980-554-1152.
And to be a sponsor, too. We definitely looking for sponsors. So all of our friends out there with businesses, you'll be hearing from us soon.
And again, let me repeat that number. That number is 980-552-1184. That was a mistake on my end. Again, that's 980-552-1184. You're listening to WDRB Media, the voice of your community, giving you double the information and inspiration. Until next week, continue to be blessed. Real talk.
Real people.
Real music.
All right.